Greetings, people of YouTube. This is Pete R. Porker. Since we are slowly closing in on Wrestlemania, and it is the 10th anniversary of Undertaker's streak being broken by he who shall be called Nameless, otherwise known as Brock Lesnar, I think it's a good time to look at Undertaker's 21 matches leading up to that fateful night when he who shall not be spoken of beat Taker's streak. We will also rate these matches from the least to the greatest. Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez ranks dead, pun intended, last, as they fought each other in Caesar's Palace at WrestleMania 9 in WrestleMania's first outdoor event. About the coolest thing about this match, and probably the only cool thing about this match, is Undertaker's funeral chariot with vulture entrance, as everything else about this match is as ugly as Giant Gonzalez's airbrush bodysuit with painted on muscles and strategically placed fur. Thank God that fur was there. The match is about as slow as a reanimated corpse from George A. Romero's original Night of the Living Dead, and it even ends with a whimper as Giant Gonzalez puts a chloroform rag in Taker's face, giving Taker the win by DQ. It is definitely the weakest entry of Undertaker's streak and Mania matches. Undertaker versus the Big Boss Man takes the second worst honors as they both battle in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 15. This match saw Undertaker at his evil corporate ministry darkest as he took on SWAT team-dressed Boss Man. This match is only memorable for its ending festivities as Undertaker hung Bossman like a piñata on the cell ceiling. This match is the worst Hell in a Cell match, but not the worst match in a cell, as that honor goes to the Kennel from Hell match, which Bossman would also be involved in against Al Snow later that year, with defecating, urinating, and fornicating dogs, providing their own brand of action long before the puppy bow became a thing. Up next is The Undertaker vs. Psycho Sid from WrestleMania 13. This match had the unfortunate placement of going on after an iconic and amazing brawl between Bret the Hitman Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was plodding, relatively lifeless, and is really only notable for kicking off the Dead Man's second title reign in the WWF at the time. WrestleMania 19 showcased a unique match for The Undertaker as under his biker gimmick he was to tag with newcomer Giant Aussie Nathan Jones to take on the Big Show and A-Train. However, Nathan Jones was determined to be nowhere near ready for a bout on the grandest stage of them all and was written out of the match with a pre-match attack from Ape Train and the Big Show, resulting in Undertaker taking on Ape Train and Big Show alone. The tag concept could have been interesting and could have worked for the streak if Undertaker would have teamed up with his longtime rival and partner Kane as the Brothers of Destruction. However, this match was basically just filler and padding to further Taker's ever-growing WrestleMania streak. Undertaker vs. King Kong Bundy comes up next as two colossal competitors take on each other and shake the earth at WrestleMania 11. 1995 was one of the weaker Federation years, but there was some intrigue in the returning colossal walking condominium known as King Kong Bundy, say that 5 times fast, taking on current cold colossal corpse, The Undertaker. My tongue is tied. As part of the $1 Million Corporation, King Kong Bundy just couldn't get the job done against the Dead Man. This match is nothing to write home about, but as a big hoss match, it's passable and is miles ahead of Gonzalez vs. Undertaker that preceded it. Undertaker versus Superfly. Jimmy Snuka is where it all started at WrestleMania 7. It was appropriate to start Undertaker's long-celebrated streak against long-time, hard-headed veteran Superfly. This match did not last long, though, but was a good starting point for a legendary streak. Undertaker, now as a face, came in the following year to take on the heelish Jake the Snake Roberts at WrestleMania 8. With Undertaker turning to the good guy's side and saving Miss Elizabeth from Jake and his snake, the reptile that is, get your mind out of the gutter, the Undertaker finished off Jake in an unremarkable but passable sophomoric win in his streak. At WrestleMania 22, Undertaker put his streak on the line against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, in a casket match. Nobody really thought Undertaker's streak was in danger in this bout, and they thought right as Undertaker stuffed Big Mark in the casket when it was time for the not-so-main event. An interesting fact on this one was that Vince McMahon seriously considered making Mark the one to beat the streak at this event. But saner heads prevailed, and the streak would march on for many more years to come. Thank you, sweet Jesus. Undertaker took on his brother Kane at WrestleMania 20, resurrecting his long-dormant dead man gimmick and clashing against the unmasked Kane, with Paul Bearer managing the Undertaker. It was nothing spectacular, and this match was a shorter encounter than their first lockup, but this one was more for spectacle and showmanship over athleticism. The two did a good job, and the fans were ecstatic to have back old-school Taker at the showcase of the Immortals. Speaking of Undertaker and Kane, the first time those two locked up was at WrestleMania 14 in 1998. After a long, slow-burn feud leading up from Hell in a Cell 1997 with Kane's debut, this one was highly anticipated. Undertaker and Kane would go on to face and tag against each other numerous times down through the years, but it all got its start here with Undertaker finishing off Kane with 3 Tombstone Piledrivers. Undertaker's match against Big Daddy Cold Diesel in 1996 really stepped up the pace in terms of Taker's competition. Undertaker and Nash in 96 were 2 big athletic men with deceptively quick speed when called upon. The Undertaker won this bout, showing with this match that he was ready for the next level, and he would get that with a longer title reign against Psycho Sid at Mania 13 the following year. Number 10 would see Undertaker piling up his 10th match victory against the legendary Ric Flair at WrestleMania 18. With this battle of iconic legends, Undertaker's streak got its first mention here, as the streak would go on from here to be a huge selling point at WrestleManias for years to come. An interesting fact about this match is Undertaker had his choice to take on either RVD or Ric Flair at Mania 18. Mick, who shall be nameless man, gave Taker the choice between the two, and without hesitation, Taker chose Flair, citing, while he respected RVD, he had less time and opportunity to work a match with Flair. This match showcased Flair and Undertaker putting on an intense and much athletic match than was expected at Flair's age at the event. Undertaker vs. Triple H at WrestleMania 17 is up next. Triple H would be the only competitor in history to take on Taker 3 times at WrestleMania. This match was the first of the trilogy, and while it is certainly a great one, it would actually be the lesser of the 3 times Triple H and Undertaker locked up, as 10 years later, the two would go at it again and prove even more intensity 10 years older. Undertaker took on Randy Orton at WrestleMania 21 while Randy was in the Legend Killer mode. Randy was joined by his dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, in this feud, and they would be repetitively haunted and stalked by the creepy Undertaker as he haunted them in mirrors a la Warrior to Hogan in WCW in '98, and was even possessing interviewer Josh Matthews to scare the Ortons. Hey, can't this man just do his job? Undertaker would not go down like the other legends in Randy Orton's notched belt of legends, but instead made Randy a notch in his streak belt on this night. Undertaker vs. CM Punk was built around the story of CM Punk disrespecting the recently deceased Paul Bearer, aka William Moody. Punk even went as far as bathing himself in Bearer's ashes from the urn. Don't worry, those were fake. I hope. Undertaker picked up the emotional victory in this event for his buddy and longtime manager in a feel-good win in what would be the final match of the streak's life, putting it at 21-0. Another Paul Heyman guy would dash the streak's extension at the next WrestleMania at 2014's Mania 30. With the Batista match at WrestleMania 23 onward, each competitor and match started to feel like it could really be the one to end the streak. Batista taking on Undertaker ensured Undertaker would take on and beat each member of Evolution. This was a high-octane, high-stakes encounter, and the match had two big hosses that could take it to a higher-paced level when called upon. Triple H's final contest in his trilogy against Undertaker saw Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. This match was billed as an end-of-an-era match, while a notch or two down in terms of athleticism from Triple H's previous encounter with Taker. This one was certainly high on the drama. This match took place in the Hell in a Cell and had one of the best pre-match endings of any Taker or any Mania match. After Taker picked up the W, he, Triple H, and Michaels all left together on the ramp. Undertaker took on the brash Edge in the Florida Heat in the main event of Mania 24. Edge was at his rowdy and raunchiest rated R superstar best against Taker. However, a camera clock to Taker's noggin and interferences from Edge's buddies Hawkins and Ryder could not help Edge as Undertaker picked up the win and the title to cap off the night in a high-octane thriller. Triple H went into WrestleMania 27 for a sequel against Undertaker after his buddy Michaels failed to put Taker down to rest in peace in the previous two Mania events. This match was held under a no-holds-barred stipulation and allowed them to battle in and around the ring with weapons. All of Triple H's pedigrees and a tombstone couldn't help him seal a victory, as Taker beat him in a similar fashion he beat his half-brother at Mania 14 with not one, not two, but triple tombstone piledrivers. Undertaker and Michaels struck all-time gold with their heated contest of wrestling perfection at WrestleMania 25 and decided to have another go at it at WrestleMania 26. Going into this match, Michaels was distraught over his previous loss and had an uphill battle of losing it with losing his tag titles with Triple H and attacking a ref after losing in the Royal Rumble. He even briefly became a short-order cook at WWE's cafeteria and gave a bratty little girl a taste of sweet chin music. Michaels decided to force Undertaker into a rematch and got it. In this match, Michaels' career was on the line, as was Taker's streak. He lost following a jumping tombstone. This could have been and should have been Michaels' retirement match, and in my heart it still is, as even Michaels regrets coming out of retirement for that disastrous Brothers of Destruction versus DX match in Saudi Arabia in 2018. Part of me hopes Michaels will end on a higher note, come out of retirement, and take on perhaps AJ Styles for a final match. Hey, it worked for Undertaker. Even better than the rematch sequel classic is this match at the silver anniversary of Wrestlemania. Michaels comes in as a photo negative of Undertaker in all white descending from the heavens to take on the dead man for this fantastic bout. The story was Undertaker never beat Shawn Michaels, but Undertaker was undefeated at Wrestlemania, the same show Shawn Michaels was nicknamed after, Mr. WrestleMania. The match and the crowd was electric with near fall after near fall and finishing move after finishing move, and it took the audience on the ultimate thrill ride. Did I use that cliche already? Oh well, I'm going to use it again. In the end, this most spectacular match ended in a most spectacular fashion as Undertaker tombstone Shawn Michaels midair following a Shawn Michaels moonsault. This is a perfect match example of why I and many fans love wrestling. Agree with my match selections? Disagree? Sound off down below. This is Pete R. Porker saying thanks for watching and enjoy that WrestleMania thrill ride. I need a new metaphor.